Alright then, we are going to be reading, well, I'm going to be reading a Loyal Sacrifice. Now, this story has a couple of errors and some repetitive things to it, and I'm going to be fixing those as I speak. So if I stutter occasionally, or I look confused, or sound confused, it's probably because I'm trying to fix something in the story so it sounds right to you people. Also, there's a tiny gory scene right in the middle, but I'm going to be skipping over that just by, you know, immediately describing it so it doesn't offend anyone, and because I don't want to ruin the moment of the whole entire thing. So, without further ado, let's get to reading it. The sun was high in the cloudy skies. The white puffs of clouds happily sailed along the bright blue sky. The wind blowed softly against all life below the sun. Trees rattled, and the emerald green grass swished and flicked by the soft gusts of wind. Rainbow Dash smiled as she gazed into the sky. The clouds sailing along happily gave warmth to Rainbow Dash's heart. Slowly, the cyan-colored Pegasus raised her wings, and began to take to the skies. Wind blasted onto her mare's face. Her rainbow-colored mane swished and flicked back as Rainbow Dash started to build up speed. She slowly began to turn around ever so gracefully. With a roll, Rainbow Dash zoomed straight down. The cyan-colored Pegasus smiled and closed her eyes. Her rainbow-colored mane flicked wildly and freely. The wind began to narrow on Rainbow's body. She felt pressure on her entire body. Her wings screeched in pain, but she didn't care. She never felt so alive. The air finally began to form a narrowing on Rainbow Dash's vision. The mare slowly began to feel herself being stretched. Then she gave the final push. The air exploded around her. She did it. She made another sonic rainboom. Slowly, the cyan-colored Pegasus opened her eyes. She looked up to see her rainbow-colored mane flowing with the rainbow she had created behind her. Smiling, Rainbow Dash sped up, casting the rainbow over all of Ponyville which lay below. Slowly, she felt her mane fall down. She looked down below to see her sonic rainbow she created was fading. Smiling still, Rainbow Dash slowly turned sideways. The wind gracefully pushes her to land. Slowly, the cyan-colored Pegasus felt grass on her hooves. It tickled her. She let out a chuckle. She began to run across the grass as she landed. Slowly, the impact on the ground faded, leaving Rainbow Dash standing still. She lifted her gaze into the skies once more. The clouds were sailing across the bright blue sky, but this time fishing for starlight. Rainbow Dash smiled. Satisfied, she turned around and walked down the muddy path to Ponyville. "Hiya, Rainbow Dash!" yelled a voice. Rainbow Dash flinched and tumbled over, making her land face first into the mud. Rainbow Dash looked up to face a pink-colored earth pony with a night poofy mane. "Pinkie Pie?" Rainbow asked. The mare nodded. Rainbow Dash sighed and lifted herself up. Mud poured down her face and mane. "Okay, why did you sneak up on me like that?" Rainbow Dash asked, wiping the mud off her face. "Oh, I have a message from Fluttershy," Pinkie Pie informed. "Okay, shoot." Rainbow Dash smiled. The pink party pony grabbed her mane and pulled it up. She let it loose, and weirdly the mane formed a familiar shape of a certain yellow-colored Pegasus. "Hi, Rainbow Dash. Is it all right for you to come over and have a little hangout time with our pets, or something? Please don't be mad of asking." "From Fluttershy," Pinkie Pie asked shyly. "Okay, I'll go then. Oh wait, Tank, he's not in much shape." Rainbow Dash mumbled to herself. "I'll take care of him," Pinkie Pie offered, her mane all puffed up again. Rainbow Dash flared her wings. "Really?" Rainbow Dash asked. "Sure, we're the best of buds," Pinkie replied with a giggle. "Cool, thanks, Pinkie Pie," Rainbow Dash thanked when the pink party pony began racing to Tank. Smiling, Dash flared up her wings and zoomed into the sky. Wind blasted onto her face again, but she ignored it. Her rainbow-colored mane flicked wildly as she rushed upon the Pegasus's face. As the wind rushed upon the Pegasus's face. Soon the forestry cottage appeared on the horizon. Rainbow Dash slowed down and looked down. The emerald green glass flicked softly by the wind. The stream was bright blue, with fish happily hopping out of the stream. Squirrels began to climb up the fully grown healthy oak trees. Rainbow Dash smiled. Slowly she held her wings. She glided and landed softly on the dusty ground. Rainbow Dash looked up and knocked on the bright red door. It opened as soon as the Pegasus touched it. Rainbow Dash stepped in and gasped in horror. So basically, her entire cottage is trashed and her animals are killed. Uh, where's Fluttershy? Rainbow Dash thought. Rainbow Dash looked up to face a smashed window. Rainbow Dash looked through it to reveal a large set of paws, or some major footprints. Rainbow Dash gulped. She lifted up her wings and silently glided out of the window and landed. She looked at the trail. It was fresh. Rainbow Dash narrowed her eyes. She flared up her wings, and in a dash she flew straight into the everfree forest. Slowly, she slowed down when she heard a large roar of rage and anger. Okay, right there it says, Rainbow Dash slowly slowed down. Yeah. Moving back on. Rainbow Dash Rainbow Dash slowly landed and crouched. She poked her head from the brush and gasped. Fluttershy was crying and curling in a ball, and a tall Ursa Major was towering over her, its eyes barking with hunger and rage. Rainbow Dash gritted her teeth. She couldn't get Fluttershy out flat. Oh my god. She couldn't get Fluttershy and herself out of there alive unless. Rainbow Dash looked up into the skies, still bright blue. She lofted up her wings and shot straight into the air, sending dust everywhere. Rainbow Dash turned gracefully and rolled when she saw herself in the cloudosphere. She gritted her teeth. Her rainbow mane flowed back wildly. Her wings screeched for her to stop. The air narrowed onto Rainbow Dash. She felt her wings screeching for her to stop, but she didn't. As she felt the wind stop, she smirked. No one messes with Fluttershy, she thought. The barrier broke. Rainbow closed her eyes. Her head hit the Ursa Major. The entire forest echoed a loud boom, and a large rainbow had exploded and hit contact with the Starlight Bear, killing it. Starlight began to fall. Colors filled Rainbow's vision. She screeched in pain. She looked below and let out a moan of pain and fear. Her entire body was bleeding. Fluttershy gasped and held a hoof to her mouth. Quickly, she ran to her friend. She fell onto her knees as she did. "Rainbow!" Fluttershy gasped. The cyan-colored Pegasus lifted her gaze to her bleeding body, then to her friend. "Hi, Fluttershy. Not in good shape, am I?" Rainbow Dash joked. "Don't worry. I'm gonna go get Twilight. Don't worry. I'm gonna go get Twilight. She'll fix you up," Fluttershy soothed. Rainbow Dash yelped in pain. Her twisted body was limp. Blood still fell down the Pegasus's wounds. "I don't think I'll make it, Fluttershy," Rainbow Dash admitted. Fluttershy froze. Her eyes widened. Tears fell quickly like the rivers of the forest she lived near. No, you'll make it, Rainbow Dash," Fluttershy sobbed. Rainbow Dash lifted her hoof. Her muscles screeched in pain. She slowly lifted Fluttershy's head to gaze at Rainbow Dash. The cyan-colored Pegasus smiled. "It's okay, Fluttershy. It's okay. I have to do this." Rainbow Dash soothed, her eyes falling down. "No, please, Rainbow. You're my best friend," Fluttershy sobbed. "And I will always be," Rainbow Dash added. Silence. It echoed through Rainbow Dash's mind, giving out a few ragged breaths. "Sing," Rainbow Dash croaked. "What?" Fluttershy asked. "Can you sing for me?" Rainbow Dash asked. Of course," Fluttershy sobbed. The yellow Pegasus opened her mouth and sung a tune while sobbing. "Hush now, quiet now, it's time to lay your sleepy head. Hush now, quiet now, it's time to go to bed." Slowly, Rainbow Dash closed her eyes. Her memories flashed inside her head, her friends, her actions, the element of loyalty. What her friends and herself had been through, and most of all, her loyalty. Slowly, Rainbow Dash smiled and gave way into the blackness. Rainbow Dash's courage and loyalty was known far and wide. Soon, Ponyville and Cloudsdale together made a new group of Pegasus flyers, known as the Sonic Rainbooms. All looked up to the cyan-colored Pegasus. Her undying loyalty lasted till her last breath. Fluttershy from then on helped anyone, and I mean anyone. From the greed-hearted dragons to the prideful griffins, she helped them all. And it was all thanks to Rainbow Dash and her undying and powerful loyalty. Okay then. Excuse me there. This sounded a bit better for me if I hadn't messed up a little bit, but I'm sure you guys can forgive me. Um, if you have any fan fictions that you want me to read, I'll be happy to look over them and take in suggestions in the comment section. So thank you all for listening. Goodbye, YouTube.